doing, guys? Thank you so much for coming back to Cobra TV. And today I'm just gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna put some gameplay in the background, probably of the race that I did. Just want to talk a little bit about the incoming update that we're probably going to be getting. And I don't know, just talk about what it could possibly be, what's next for No Man's Sky, what could we possibly see next for No Man's Sky. I want to open up that discussion. And I also, the 1.5, a lot of us were thinking of that could possibly be the update number instead of 1.4. But there's been a lot of speculation on the internet that it's May 1st, just the way that they format the dates in the UK. And here we are in March. And first I kind of threw away that thought that, no, it's not going to be May 1st. But now I'm almost wondering if that's true. As we all know that the Waking Titan actually started, the next Waking Titan ARG started, and they said that the next phase would kick off when the Atlas passes started arriving, and they held true to that. It did. We had a live event in New York, and massive live event. It really riled up the community and got us all hyped and everything, watching this live event, watching people take taxi cabs, watching game detectives go out there. They were the first ones to respond. A person got into a car accident trying to get there, and they had like this cool book, and there was a document, and there was a cookie waiting for the first person. And then we had a clue, which was REMS, and then the guy looked at everybody and said, sleep. You're going to need lots of sleep. So I think, that probably right there was, chill out. We're going to go away for a little while. We're going to let the snail mail do its job, and then we'll come back after a while. I recently had a morning show podcast where I talked about a theory, which is a very weak theory that I had, just so one of those fleeting thoughts that come into your head. And it's just one of those weird late night thoughts. It's not something you take very seriously, but I kicked around the idea that they with this update, how they pretty much Hello Games opened up their mouth by saying that the Wisps were just the beginning of cooperative synchronized gameplay. By saying that, what I mean is by opening their mouth, they know that anytime they say something, the internet holds their feet to the flame about it. So I feel like if they came out with another update that just improved the terrain and animals and sounds, yes, we would all love that. But a good deal of people would say, something to the effect, oh, you're lying again, huh? Nothing new to the multiplayer. So I feel like one of the themes that we're going to have with the new update is definitely going to be an improvement in multiplayer. And I believe that it's not just going to be an avatar that, we could finally see each other. I really think that there's content that's going to go along with that's going to be part of the update. Things to do with each other. And, so it's not just going to be, okay, here's multiplayer, you can see each other, and there's nothing new to do. Hello Games has said that they would watch how we play the game and go from there. And a lot of people, I know not all of you, are into the hubs, and they're into doing double-sided streaming, and someone will stream and then they'll put the screens together like Ivy Mike's cage matches, permadeath cage matches, and then the No Man's Sky Olympics was very, very awesome. And that's where one person will stream to YouTube and split everybody's screen into 4 screens, and they'll have these competitions. That's really, really awesome. And one of the things that we're going to be doing April 1st is we're going to be having a 15 contender race that Martin Boyd's going to be filming from the top. He's going to, I believe, use his Terraform tool and go up to the top and film the orbs going around the racetrack, which I think is going to be really, really cool. And I'm also going to be streaming my perspective of the race as well. I'm one of the contenders in the first race. So far, I know that there's 2 races. But see, there's Hello Games is watching how we play the game. A lot of people out there don't want anything to do with multiplayer. They don't want anything. They don't even want to see another player. They're happy being alone and being secluded. And luckily, No Man's Sky is big enough that you could do that. That you could evade people all day, all night, and never run into anybody. Not even on accident. So. With that said, I really think that Hello Games is going to improve on the multiplayer. Now, what's next for No Man's Sky? So if you take a look at this update, it's really, really hard to gauge exactly what is going to be in it. Usually, we kind of have hints. Like we had a hint that we were going to be getting freighters. We had a hint that we were going to be getting the exocraft vehicles because we saw the icon on one of the on the No Man's Sky blog. We saw the it was actually the exocraft station that we were seeing, and we saw the tires, and it was on a rack and things like that. So we kind of had a feeling that it was 100% feeling we were going to get those things, land vehicles, in No Man's Sky. So we've kind of like had, theories, very backable, whatever, theories that what we were going to be getting in the next update. But we've always been surprised because it's never been just one theme with every update. There's always been this and that, and wow, and this too. And also in every update, they improved the terrain. I think in Atlas Rises was the biggest improvement in the terrain. So I definitely feel like this next update, we're going to see a massive improvement of that terrain yet again. As always, that's one of the things that the GDC, that he said that's one of the things that they want to keep on improving is the terrain. I think variation is always that's common sense. That's a given. We all know that most of the animals sound exactly the same, and I guarantee you that Hello Games knows that their animals almost sound the same. Paul Weir is an amazing sound artist, sound developer, and he, I'm pretty sure that guy knows as well that everything sounds the same. So I could definitely see like an improvement in that. Besides, he's been tweeting here lately about sounds and stuff like that, but not actually relating it to No Man's Sky. The guy's probably always recording sounds for anything, and he's just got a library. He's just a sound collector. So put on the top of the list right there, I think the variation and sound is going to be improved. But how much, I don't know. It could be a small improvement. It could be just a step in the right direction, just like Atlas Rises was a good step in the right direction with the terrain. So I think sound is definitely at the forefront, and also terrain. The other thing that I'm pretty sure is common sense of what they're going to have in this update, this next update, is going to be multiplayer. And this update has taken them longer than normal to come out with, and it's not like they're stretching towards an anniversary like they were before with Atlas Rises. The Atlas Rises took a little bit longer, I feel, because they were stretching it to the anniversary update, which is what they called it, an anniversary update. So there's no anniversary update right now. So I think that, making multiplayer and fine-tuning that, and, as far as on the networking side, is a lot of work. And I believe that the Wisps were, to show us that, hey, we're working on this. Back in GameSpot 2014, Sean Murray literally said that they have the plans for a more traditional multiplayer that is later down the road, a lot further down the road, he said. And then he also said that it's something that they are excited about, but he wasn't ready to talk about that yet. And then after that, quote, he kind of shot down multiplayer kind of shot it down. The only thing he would talk about with multiplayer was the fact that you could see each other, which we didn't get that on launch, and I'm not sure why. But if you go back to that same exact interview that he said that in with the more traditional multiplayer further down the line that they're excited about and he's not ready to talk about yet, if you go to that same exact interview, he actually says a lot of things are possible in No Man's Sky, but when the game ships, not everything will be possible, but I have a feeling we're going to be working on this game for a very long time, which is a disclaimer that the game was not going to have all of its features when the game launched. So that was it right there. That voids every single Sean Murray lied comment that has ever been commented on the internet, period. Do I feel like they should have reiterated that a lot more often instead of just that one interview? Yeah, I do. But that's old news now. So going back to the multiplayer, you know, Hello Games are, as we can see, you know, we're making fun of his name on Reddit, and then Sean Murray tweets out prawn curry, and to just kind of let us know that, hey, I'm watching you guys. They also retweet a lot of stuff that we send to them and things like that. So I feel that they know that there's a massive amount of hubs. And what's really cool about that is during the Waking Titan the first time, if you typed into the command the command terminal, some of those hubs were recognized as so they know that these hubs exist because they actually program them into the Waking Titan terminal. So that's something to look at right there. So multiplayer, I believe, is definitely going to be somewhat of a focus on here. And now when you think about what Hello Games has kind of done in the past, you know, Hello Games has there's forums everywhere for No Man's Sky. I've got one, explorenms.com, which has lost its steam in the past year, but it's still there. There's still a couple people on there that are you know, active and talking. It used to be a really fun place to be. I spent a little bit of time on there. You know, I check it every now and then, and but there's places like No Man's Sky Amino that has popped up that are a lot more prettier than my site, and so I'm also spending time on No Man's Sky Amino as well. But you know, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep explorenms.com up, because it does cost me money, and a lot of people aren't really going over there anymore. So I'm actually kicking around the idea of possibly closing that down, unless it gets more. But going back to the update, gosh, I get so sidetracked. When I'm talking. So Hello Games, you know, there's forums all over the place. So what did Hello Games do? They made an official forum for the game, and that is atlas-65.com. I think it's atlas-65 or 75, or it's the CSD forums. That is actually ran or owned by Hello Games. They have it now. It's been turned into the official forum for the game. So so they kind of taken that and you know, the forum idea and made an official one. So that's really awesome too. So when you look at the hubs, they know that that's a good idea. They know that people have worked really hard, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours to organize these hubs and create these rules and governments and politics and events and things like that. They know that people are really going in at it. And so I look for Hello Games to do the same thing they did with the forums, and possibly create one official hub in No Man's Sky. Maybe one official hub in each of the dimensions, each of the galaxies. And so that way they could hone in and focus on the features that might not be all capable everywhere else, but in the hub, in that special region of Euclid that you could travel to, you would be able to have all the features, all the capable features some of these hubs want, and it would work 100% there, as far as, you know, multiple bases per star system, maybe even per planet, a better, you know, a way to trade stuff with each player, matchmaking, so that way we could do competitions kind of like what you do in GTA, things like that. That would be fun. Some of the functionalities that a hub should have, I think it would be more common sense for Hello Games to make one official place. That way they could focus on those features and that one place instead of spreading it around the entire game. I don't know. That's a theory as well. So the theory that I had with let me go back. There are things that we could kind of look at that came out with Atlas Rises that kind of complement multiplayer. The wisps, of course, that, you know, the orbs that we can see each other. But I think the biggest one is the portals and how they actually work. Okay, now before, when he talked about the portals, before the game came out, they said the portals kind of take you to a planet closer to the center of the galaxy so you can get a taste of what's ahead. That's an exact quote from Sean Murray. But now when we see the portals, these portals are like a telephone. You know, you could dial in specific places if you have that other address and be able to fast travel. And I really think that that was added in so that people can get to each other faster and play with each other, and, you know, do things with each other and things like that. So I think the portals were added in for multiplayer functionality, and I think they're going to play a bigger role in that multiplayer functionality in the next update. So going back to that fleeting thought that I had in my mind, the thought was that they've improved multiplayer so much, not thinking, okay, we got to go full-fledged into this, but they improved it to the point that if it's going to be released, maybe Sony has to do some kind of review on it, or inspection, or QA testing, or something like that. So it's going to be on their system or something like that, and maybe Sony backs up and says, hey, wait a minute, now your game isn't a PlayStation Plus required game, and this is too much of multiplayer, that we're going to have to include a requirement to have PlayStation Plus within your game. So maybe the fleeting thought was maybe that's what's caused a little hang up, because maybe there's a little bit of legality there that they have to fix, and some issues there. I don't know. That, like I said, it was a fleeting thought that maybe multiplayer wasn't improved a whole heck of a lot, but maybe too much for Sony to say, let's back up the bus and let's talk about this. So I don't know. Like I said, very weak theory, very weak thought, and it doesn't keep me up at night. I just wanted to share that with you on this podcast. Let you comment down below what you think. I think somebody else commented down below that Hello Games wouldn't forget about the PlayStation Plus. Well, maybe they, and I agree with that too. But I also think that maybe they didn't think that the improvement to multiplayer was enough of a multiplayer. Maybe this multiplayer is not going to be as big as I'm hoping it's going to be. Maybe it's smaller, but big enough for Sony to care. So we've got the multiplayer on the horizon, which I'm sticking to my guns about that. I really think that that's going to be. Now, I'm not talking about PvP. I don't know. There's a lot of debate whether PvP should exist in the game. I think it should, to a certain extent. I think there needs to be a lot of discussion over PvP, a lot of talk about how it could possibly work, and how it could work and not ruin the game experience for people too much. I really want the ability to, have that fear when I come across another player. But it's a fine line. It's a fine line, and I don't know where that line is. And I think that if it's done wrong, I think it could ruin the experience for a lot of people out there who do not want PvP. Okay, so we've got improvement to the terrain, the sound, possible multiplayer functionality. You got those three things. What else could Hello Games be possibly working on? Now, this isn't what I'm not thinking about this in terms of what I want. I'm thinking about in terms of what direction could they possibly go in. So, you know, there's a lot of things that I want in No Man's Sky, and I think about those things a lot. I mean, a lot. And I think that, you know, one of the things that's at the top of my list is improvement to the ships. I want to see better ships, customizable ships. I want to see ships that you can walk around in. You know, I want to see ships that feel more personable to me. I want to see ships that, you know, I can actually give a name, and that's my ship, and no other ship can turn my head. You know, that's the one that I love. I got some stories in that ship, man. And, you know, I don't feel that at the moment with the ships that we have. It's more like ooh, I want that one. Ooh, I want this one. Ooh, I want that one, you know, kind of thing. And I see sometimes people have the same ship as me in No Man's Sky. So I think the way to really mix up the variation with the ships is for us to be able to customize and build our own ships and things like that. I think that would be really freaking cool. But and again, that's a possibility for where the game could possibly go, but you know, that's just a want, and I really don't feel like that's going to be in this update. But what we do know is that there is a person at Hello Games, we've talked about it, I sound like a broken record sometimes, that is from Lionhead, and he now works for Hello Games, and he specializes in procedural cities. We got a lot more artists there now too, that are also from Lionhead. But the procedural cities guy is a very big clue of what we could get in this next update, because in Atlas Rises there was nothing I don't believe improved with the city or with the buildings that are on the planets. They're all still pretty much the same. Now the procedural cities guy might not be there to add cities, but he could possibly be there to improve clusters of settlements, clusters of you know, the way trade posts look, and what else is around the trade post. Maybe it's not just a trade post anymore. Maybe there's like little buildings and bars and cantinas and things like that you can go into that are near the trading posts on the planets, and design. As we know, those gigantic towers that, you know, the one that looked like a typewriter, that not a typewriter, but a sewing machine that was in the montage trailer of No Man's Sky from very, very long time ago. Those things, and also in the art book that we've got, those silhouettes of those amazing trade stations, I don't even know if they're trade stations, but the big gigantic towers, those are not in the game yet. One of the things that are on there is on the same page as those big towers in the silhouette is that circle that you know, we've seen in the old trailers too. Those are now in the game. So that's another thing that could be in this update, because those really have no functionality right now, and I believe that they went ahead and put them in there, and they're going to be working with those. So I believe our update is going to have, you know, those are going to have some increased functionality as well. You know, those big, I can't remember the name, is escaping me at the moment, those circular rings that are on the planets, those terminals or whatever they are. So those, I believe, they're going to be played with a little bit, you know, in the update. So the procedural cities guy, we're not going to see Coruscant. You know what I mean? That's never going to happen in No Man's Sky, I don't believe. Now watch it, it'll happen, and I'm like, what? But I really feel like variation of buildings, the buildings making more sense instead of just being out in the middle of nowhere. You know, I think that if there's going to be buildings, there's going to be buildings grouped together for a reason. They have to make sense. And I think that's what he's going to be doing, is if you find a building out there, it's not going to be just like one weird settlement or trailer that's out in the middle of nowhere and it has no reason to be there. There's no excuse for it to be there. So I feel like that's what his job is going to do, is give the buildings meaning for existing in the places that they do exist, and you know, improvement on design and functionality. I think that's what he's there for. So I really think that that's going to be part of the next update. But that along goes with variation. You got sound variation. You got the, terrain variation. Now we're going to have, I think, I hope, building variation, structure variation, things like that, and then multiplayer. But I don't think it stops there. I actually don't think that multiplayer is going to be the big thing for this update. I think that a lot of us are going to consider it the big thing. But I think that they got something else up their sleeve, and I don't know what it is. I really feel like, Sean Murray a long time ago on a blog on NoManSky.com actually said right now No Man's Sky is about exploration. Later on, it will be about other things. So we are now at the point where we're at later on. But you think, what, we all explore. Exploring is fun. But what, when you think about No Man's Sky and its future, what could possibly be added to the game to make it even, yes, they can improve the variation immensely. Yes, they can improve the sound variation immensely, and the way the planets look, different this, different that. But at the same time, it's like, where does that carry the game? We got the story mode, which was fun. I'm not going to finish my story mode because I do not want to end up in I don't want to leave the Euclid Galaxy. I guess I could reload my save, but I don't want to even gamble with that at all. So what else could happen to No Man's Sky to make it continue on outside of exploration? That is what keeps me up at night. It really is. We could always get, fed with these updates. A lot of people, they get bored with No Man's Sky as the precipice for an update is upon us. A lot of people get bored and they start playing other things, and they get up. Some people get upset when there's no update. But we can't live like that forever, guys. We can't just live like, we can't be living update for update only. And so it makes me wonder, what could the game turn out to be? Look at Minecraft and how long Minecraft has been out, and how many people are still playing Minecraft, and how many YouTube channels are in the millions that are still uploading videos of Minecraft. And, it's like the longevity of No Man's Sky is the way we have building right now, and the way we have the things that we have right now in No Man's Sky, I don't think is enough to for it to survive the longevity that Minecraft has had for a lot of people. Now me, I have a very vivid imagination. I am a child inside a man's body, and when I'm on these planets, my mind it's going crazy with my imagination. I don't know, man. I'm just a kid. I'm a gigantic kid, and I'm an old child. And so No Man's Sky it's a canvas. It's a visual. It's a book with visuals, and I'm the writing. And it's a book with pictures, and I'm the writing. And I love going into that book and landing down on the planet, and I see things differently than a lot of people. I see, now here's a stage, now I'm going to act and be whoever I want to be. I'm going to be Cobra Solo. I'm going to, I'm going to act like I'm in Firefly. I'm going to, there's so many different things. And what I was thinking about doing a new series called The Traveler, and it's going to be me in normal mode looking for that perfect place to find a home to build my base. And with every episode, I explore a new star system to its fullest. I read about the lore of that star system. I talk about what's going on in that star system, what's traded in that star system, what's wanted. Then we go to the planets and we look at every animals, and it's narrated more like a novel It's narrated more like a nature show or something like that, or more like Bob Ross the Happy Painter. You know what I mean? Something like that. And I think that would be really cool. More like a Diary of a Spaceman type thing. And that's how I love playing No Man's Sky. And that would last forever for me. It really does. It really will. And so you think about the longevity. It's like, what could they do to the game to make it last as long as Minecraft? And for the life of me, I can't figure that out. I sit there and I think about it a lot, so I'd like to get your opinions down below. What could No Man's Sky do to make it last as long as Minecraft? To make it continue on as long as Minecraft does. Has. And will. Minecraft's not going away. There's no Minecraft 2. They know the Minecraft story mode, but Minecraft's not going away, and it won't go away. And you know, I mean, even games today are coming out, brand spanking new games coming out, copying off of Minecraft. I wouldn't say copy, but heavily influenced off of Minecraft. And one of the things that I can't wait for, and I can't believe it's not really happening, is for No Man's Sky to be heavily influenced by another developer. I want to see more games like No Man's Sky. I want a table full of food. I'm happy with just the one plate. I want more plates, man. Load me up. I want more procedurally generated games in space. So, you know, I can't wait for that to happen. And you know, there's a lot of indie games from very, very small developers, a lot of one-man teams that are doing procedurally generated universes, procedurally generated galaxies, and things like that, exploration games. But a lot of them are really small. And these are projects that could be just scrapped or dropped. Maybe they never come out. Maybe they do, and maybe they don't get published. Maybe you have to download it personally on your computer, and, you know, I don't know. But I wanted to see No Man's Sky get heavily influenced by other developers, and I think a lot of developers who could possibly do this thing are a little bit scared to even attempt it after they've seen what happened. And I'm going to start covering this new game called Drone, and one of the FAQs on there, one of the questions is, what makes, you know, how is this going to be different than NMS? You know, it's like, and then that was in like in a negative, I believe, like a negative type question. And, you know, it's just like, man, you know, enough. I want to see variation in the game industry. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see a variation of No Man's Sky. You know, like different version, somebody's different version of No Man's Sky. But you know, those are things I could see in No Man's Sky. A continuation of the story. Maybe even a reason to visit a different galaxy. Right now, there's no reason. I don't have a reason to leave Euclid. I don't want to leave Euclid. I love Euclid. There's so many places I haven't been to in Euclid. I can never visit all those places. And most of the hubs are in Euclid. So maybe there's an update, and maybe part of the update is going to be a reason to go to a different galaxy. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you know, to kind of run down sound variation, land variation, multiplayer functionality, improvement to the procedural structures, in example, buildings. I guess, you know, another thing that we could be looking at is maybe seeing NPCs walk around, something new to do with the NPCs. Also, those circles that, you know, that really don't have a function just yet. Hub. I really want a hub, an official hub with functionality, 100% functionality. That'd be freaking amazing, man. Imagine if you could actually, if it's not just one official central hub, and we could actually lay down and claim a region in space. And when I mean region, I mean the entire region, not just one star system, but the entire region, and claim a region, because there's enough of those to go around and say, okay, this is a hub and I own this hub. And then you could post the coordinates and see if people want to join your hub. That would be cool. That would be really, really awesome. I want to know what you guys think about what could possibly be in this update. And, you know, try not to think about what you want, because a lot of us want a lot of things. Try and think about what's been laid out before us, what we could see that could possibly be in the next update. That is, you know, it's, you know, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but a mature thought and not filled with what we want. So I'm curious to know what you guys have seen or what you guys think could possibly be in this next update. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much. And you know, also comment down below. I want to get your views on PvP. You know, what do you think? What do you think about PvP? I'm curious to know how you think it would work. Do you want it? Do you care if other people want it? You know, I don't know. And the other thing that I want to kind of leave behind and get your response on is, what do you think could be added to No Man's Sky to give it the longevity of Minecraft? Because from what I've seen, a lot of people jump ship from No Man's Sky when it's time for the update, and it's gone past that time. And I think a lot of people approach No Man's Sky, and I don't want to say the wrong way, but a lot of people approach No Man's Sky as far as game mechanic, like, what can I do? How is this a game? Let me play this game. And they look past the imagination. They look past the wonderment of being and using your inner child, which is what I find most amazing with No Man's Sky. The second thing I find, besides it bringing out my inner child, is the community that's behind No Man's Sky is amazing as well, and the involvement that everybody has come forward and creating like these communities and hubs and things like that, and how we've always had multiplayer, always in our own way. You know, we've done it ourselves since the beginning. We've done it ourselves, and I think that's amazing how, you know, we've all come together and done that. And that says something about our community. It really does. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So leave your comments down below with those 3 topics there. Want to get your opinion. And I don't know that we're uploading. We started a new series on Elite Dangerous. Episode 3 is going to be out soon. And if I can get home in time, we're going to be doing the morning show, Cobra TV, with Adam from Keep Calm and Game On. Just Jared might be joining us as well. So that'll be interesting. And other than that, we still have the I've Seen Things shirts. We're trying to get the new theme, No Man's Sky theme shirt designed. And get it out for March. We're a little bit late on that just because I've been working at my real job every single day and haven't really had time to do anything. Well, you know what? I hope you spent the evening with me here. I know it's a pretty long video. I didn't really realize I was going to talk for so long. And man, I should have just went live, huh? That would have been cool if I would have went live and read your comments live. But other than that, guys, I really, I've got nothing else. I know the things that I mentioned that could possibly be in this update aren't really phenomenal, but I tried to use the thought process of what we do know instead of what I really want and what I'm really hyped about, and, you know, hyping something up out of proportion and, you know, and not even being something that conceivably part of the update. So, you know, there's that. That's all I got for you today, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. And, as always, I love y'all, and I will see you all in the next video. Until next time.